Hey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. This is video number 3 of 5 of the Fossilized Volcanicus tutorial. And in this one, we're going to talk about the right arm, and that's going to be Snarl and Spindle. And so all the other bots, all the other limbs are going to have their own videos as well. But this one specifically is going to focus on Mr. Snarl and Mr. Spin. And so, yeah, let's go. And this is my least favorite part of the build. And I keep saying that. My bad, man. It's nothing against you. I just didn't do a good enough job. Nothing against you, except for your hand popping off. That's on you. So this is Spindle and Snarl. Obviously, they are not the same creature, but considering the Stegosaurus has plates, I figure he was kind of like a spiritual, not successor, but a spiritual dino mate or friend to Spindle. And plus, I mean, I had to use somebody with Snarl and somebody with Spindle, so it just worked out like so. Cool. Yeah. And so everything is pretty much the same. You just start with Snarl in his arm mode. The only thing different is that you have the arms extended like this. Everything is the same except the robot arms. You basically have them extended and spin this around so that the empty space of the forearm is facing outward. Okay? Yeah, I think you have to do that. Maybe I could have done it the other way. Well, it doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, so, and the reason you're doing that is actually everything minus these. Give me 1 second. My bad. I gotta stop downing these big old cups of water before the video because they make me burp. I say that almost like every video now because, I mean, before I wouldn't do that because I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the bathroom potentially or burp or anything like that. But I just found myself being really parched actually. And maybe it's because I'm just recording lots of content. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm always going to drink this fatty cup of water. But that just, you're just swallowing gas along with it. And so anyway, y'all don't know because I'm just pressing pause anyway. So the only parts that, okay, the arms, these are connected to the outside of his shoulders, okay? And they look like they're all holding stuff and they're connected, but I mean, no, not really. Everything, the whole enchilada up here is being connected using these two thighs, which are plugged into the fists, right? So you can see the thighs right over here, plugged into each robot fist, one right over here, and then one right over here. And then it branches up and it plugs into the frill. And then the frill has a peg that bends down. You bend that 90 degrees and then, or the spine spin or whatever. Then you attach it to the other frilly part of the tail. And that extends in and that attaches to the dino skull. If I could show you. That attaches to the dino skull. You keep the dino skull in there, and I'll pull this all out so I can show you. And the tail you plug into the jaw. Don't know if you know that, but then yeah, you can plug his tail into his jaw. So one of the cool things about this is like you see on the underside of this, there's this like spine. You can plug that directly into the cavity, and so there's a place for it to go. And then you can kind of hide all. Or I was gonna say you could hide all this nonsense by doing that, but I probably should have worked on the connection over here. Because it's pretty loose, and I was just like, for the purposes of the video, I probably don't need a piece of paper, but I probably should have. So whatever, dude. But anyway, it looks like this. Not as blurry. Nah, hold up. I think it was like that, yeah, because I had the foot resting on top of the chassis. And it looks okay. It looks okay, but to me, it's a little forced. I'd love it to be a little bit more elegant, but it is what it is. So these, one more time, these are just the spindle hands, the claws plugged in there, and you're angling it down, and you're having the thumb basically look like he's holding his thighs from the back, right? Easy. And then from there, the thighs are plugged into the fists. One there, you bring it up, you attach it to this frilly thing. This attaches here at a 90-degree angle, and then like all of this it was just attached like this, right? And then on the sides of the dyno face, you're just plugging in the legs, the calves, so to speak. You got to flip out the little pegs. And then if you've done it properly, the feet will actually rest on the red part of the bot. So we open up the tail, get that to plug in. Oh, geez, yeah. This spindle is so gummy. I hate it. I'll just say it. I hate it. Like, he's so, like, the plastic is not dense, but like, I think they just needed to they had to remold more parts. So you get the same amount of plastic, but just the parts aren't as dense, just because they needed to do more with it. You see what I mean? It's like they had the same amount of dough, so they had to roll their pizza dough thin. Okay, that's a horrible example. But so oh, another thing. My bad. Yeah, I'm all like getting this all way more complicated than it should be. Between these two the plates is where you're going to kind of tuck in this thing, and then you attach that there, and you attach that here, and this you'll bring down, and this thing will fit into that cavity. And yeah, just use some pieces of paper to tighten the holds, and then you can kind of close that up, and then this you can just push down, and it's to some degree resting on top of the red chassis, and then you have the little faceplate plugged in. And it's like that. Sorry about that. Made this like way extra complicated, but that's how you make this arm. Okay, the key is this bit over here. And if you can figure out a more elegant, better way to do this arm, by all means, please let me know. Please let me know. Okay. Oh, and that's it. We'll continue with the legs very soon. See ya.